Hello, everyone, and welcome to the LFGHO Family Workshop Building with ConnectKit. Joining us today is Nader Dabit, who will be taking us through this session. And with that, I'll pass it over to Nader to get the session started.
All right. Yeah. So thanks everyone for coming through today, or if you're watching this later, thanks for stopping by. Today we're going to be just looking at ConnectKit. And ConnectKit is a really simple and polished way to kind of have a wallet connector set up with your app. A couple of things that it would be comparable to are Web3 Modal from Wallet Connect or something like RainbowKit. And it actually integrates Wallet Connect into ConnectKit. So you kind of have the mobile functionality and all of that ready to go. A couple of things that kind of set it apart are its customization and how easy you can design and theme it. And that's going to be some of the things that I'm going to be going through. And then I'm going to walk through building an app from scratch that just implements authentication or a wallet connection with with ConnectKit. So this is basically an example of kind of what that modal looks like. You've probably seen this in a lot of apps out there because it is one of the most used wallet connectors out there. So if you've kind of been in Web3, you've probably stumbled upon it, at some time. I've tweeted about it a few times. In fact, I just tweeted about it yesterday. If you follow me on Twitter, I was kind of showing how you can, theme it or skin it in different ways. In this example, I was kind of going through a basic example design and then just swapping out the colors to be matching famous color schemes. So I did Slack, Chicago Bulls, Reese's, and a couple of other ones in the past. And it's really simple to do that, as we're about to kind of see here. So some of the features is that it is TypeScript ready. I think everyone at this point, if you're building full stack, is probably going to be wanting TypeScript for the most part. It works on all devices, so you don't have to worry about writing any specific code for mobile. The UX is really nice. A lot of people think it's kind of like the best UX out there for this type of thing. We enable you to customize the chains that you want to connect to. It has a lot of pre-designed themes, or it's really simple to theme it and skin it yourself to match exactly what you would like. So I think a way to stand out from everyone else's app is to not just use a default theme that's given to you from one of these libraries, but to kind of spend literally like 5 or 10 minutes customizing it yourself, and you automatically kind of stand out, and it really makes it easy to do with ConnectKit. And then it also has sign-in with Ethereum built in. And so the way that that works is that on the client and on the server, it offers packages as well as a really simple getting started guide for you to implement sign-in with Ethereum. So if you're using Next.js, it actually has Next.js packages. If you're using Node.js, it has Node.js packages, as well as like a really simple getting started guide for how to do that. So theming, this is kind of an example of me going through some of the different themes, but I'm going to also go through that on the website in just a moment. But to theme it, it's really simple. You just basically pass in a theme property, and the theme property would match one of the existing themes here if you wanted to kind of get started. So there's like this default theme, Web 95, retro, soft, minimal. So these are just strings that you would kind of pass in. And then you would be able to, if you would like, also kind of start from one of those themes and customize it to match your app. You can change the font family and things like that also really easily. You can also pass in those values, obviously, on the client, which is kind of where you would pass in the custom theme. So here you would be able to kind of pass in the custom theme in this object that is connected to the provider. And the way that you could kind of get some of those properties would be to go to kind of this theme builder here. And I started with the basic theme, but you can actually start from, let's see here. You can start from whatever theme you would want. So let's say we want to start from retro. We click edit theme. You see up here, it kind of has edit equals retro. We might change the font family, be something like that. And then we could download the theme and use it locally, or we can kind of actually see the CSS properties here and change those, as well. So really a lot of different ways that you can kind of customize this. And it's pretty easy. So it's just another view of some of the themes. You can also pass in whatever font that you would like for it to be used throughout the entire wallet connector in all the different places. So a very obvious thing in terms of like making your design pop a little more than everyone else is just to match the font family you're using in your app. So if you already have a font family you're using, having the wallet connector match that is really simple, just one line of code. And then I mentioned sign in with Ethereum. So it's kind of built with sign in with Ethereum as a first class citizen. It has dedicated packages. It even comes with a dedicated backend that you can kind of implement really easily on a hosted server. So you kind of have the option between serverless or a regular Node.js server. All right. So with that being said, we're going to do a quick demo. So I'm going to go into my terminal and open up this app I have running locally. And if I go to localhost 3000, you'll see it's just a really basic Next.js app. All right, so this is kind of what you get if you run npx create next app. The only thing that I've done so far was like if I went to ConnectKit get started, I've already installed these dependencies. So if I go to my package.json, you'll see that I already have ConnectKit, VM, and WAGMI installed. So other than that, I don't really have anything installed. We're kind of starting from scratch. So the three things that you need to do are install your dependencies, create a provider, and then connect the provider to the entry point to your app, and you're kind of ready to go at that point. So those are going to be kind of the steps that we walk through. You've probably done this if you've ever built with any other of these connectors, but it's worth going through if you've never done this or just to kind of see how it's done with ConnectKit because it only takes a couple seconds. What we're going to do is go ahead and create the provider. So I'll call this ConnectKit provider.tsx. And I'm going to go ahead and populate this with all the code that we need. All this stuff is documented here. So I'm just kind of like going by this exact same stuff that we're seeing here. We're importing a couple of APIs from both WAGMI as well as ConnectKit. And then we're wrapping our page, which will be the children, in the WAGMI config and the ConnectKit provider. And then you're passing in a few different properties that are specific to your app. I don't have an Alchemy ID. It's not something that you actually have to have or any type of RPC ID. The one thing you do need is the Wallet Connect project ID. So you can just go to Wallet Connect, get the project ID, you set it in .env.local, and this is a temporary key. I'm going to be deleting this, so I'm fine showing it here. But this is just how it looks. You just create a .env.local in Next.js, and then you pass in that. Or, I think because this ends up being public probably a lot of times anyway, because it's Wallet Connect and it needs to go over the wire. Some people just hard code it, but I would just recommend putting it as an environment variable. And I believe actually this might even need to be next public. So I'm going to do that. Anyway, so we have that config, we pass it into WAGMI config, and we have our provider ready to go. And all we need to do now is import it in our layout. So I'm going to go ahead and import from ConnectKit provider, the ConnectKit provider. And then I can drop that here. And we're passing in the children as the child, and that is coming in right here. So it's kind of wrapping our layout. So all we've done is like create the provider, import it, and set it up. So now our app is ready to go. So what we can do now is go to any page and start using it. So if I go to page.tsx, I'm going to start from scratch actually. And in about 28 lines of code, we're kind of building out a pretty straightforward wallet connection implementation. So we're importing use modal from Wallet Connect, and this will allow you to have a few different APIs. So You can call open. This is a Boolean, like telling you whether it's open or not. You have set open, which is a function that you pass in a Boolean of true or false that will open and close. And then you have different parts of the modal that you can open to. So you can open to the about page or the onboarding or the profile. You have functions that switch networks and open sign in with Ethereum. So yeah, we're importing that use modal hook from ConnectKit. We're importing use account and use disconnect from WAGMI. And then we're setting up a couple of hooks here. So we're going to be calling set open to true to open the modal. And we're going to be checking is connected to see if they are already connected. And then we're going to be getting their address from WAGMI use account. If they're not connected, we're just going to, I'm sorry, if they are connecting, we're going to return that they are connecting. If they're not connected, we'll show the button to connect. And if they are connected, we'll show the button to disconnect. So pretty straightforward code here, but I think the APIs are, pretty simple. I think we've come a long way in general, I guess, in the last couple of years with all of this stuff, not just with, ConnectKit. Anyway, so if I can go ahead and save and go back here, we now see we have this open modal button. Maybe I will style that maybe a little better. I think it's text flag. All right, there we go. So we have this open modal button. I'll click that. And we can now choose our wallet. So I'm just going to choose Rabby wallet, and now we're connected. And that's about it. It's pretty simple. If I click disconnect, we're disconnected. So nothing crazy there. Pretty straightforward. What I might want to do now though is like theme this. So I can go now to my provider and I can say theme is equal to retro. Actually, I need to go to the implementation, which is the provider itself. Well, this is it. Okay. All right. So we have the theme set as retro. So if I go back and I try to open it again, we now see we have our new theme. We also might want to set the mode. So if I remove the theme, I'm already like set to default as dark mode because it's going by my system settings. But if I want to set the mode as light, I can do that as well. And then we see we have like the light color wallet or connector show up. So that's kind of the main overview of ConnectKit. Don't want to make it too complicated. I think if you would like to build with it, definitely check out the documentation. It's at docs.family.co/ConnectKit, or you can just Google ConnectKit documentation. This should show up. We also have all of the information around sign in with Ethereum. So I think this is, in my opinion, a very unknown part of this project that just makes this so much easier. A lot of people often will kind of like roll their own sign in with Ethereum, but this is something that you can just use really, really easily. And then the API reference is useful. Over here on the right-hand side, you have the values you can pass into the provider. We use theme and mode. You can also pass in that custom theme like we showed. You can have callbacks for on connect and on disconnect. And then we also have these three hooks. We use modal, but there's also use sign in with Ethereum and use chains. So that's it. We don't have to, we're not taking a ton of your time today, but hopefully you learned something there and you try to use this. And I'm not sure if I can take questions, but I would be happy to if we do that.
Yeah, thanks for that. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to type them in the chat or take yourself off mute and ask them vocally. And if there are no questions, then thank you all for attending. And thank you, Nader, for a great presentation. This is the last one of the day. And for folks that are still looking for a team or ideas, definitely check out the team formation session in about just less than an hour. But yeah, thank you all again for attending. And thanks. Thanks. Have a great rest of your day and a great weekend.
Thank you for hosting this.